Yes, guys, welcome back to Subtle Media. Today I'm joined by Gio. Gio, we're here, Misfits 007. Are you excited? What's going through your mind right now being here at the Open Workout?
So this is the first time I've ever been to any public workout, never mind YouTube boxing, normal boxing, whatever. And
Really?
the atmosphere is really exciting, yeah. I tend to sort of like, obviously I'm an editor, so I stay behind the screen, you know. But this is the first time I've gone to one of these events. The atmosphere is really tense. I think people are really excited. We've got a lot of exciting fights this weekend with Salt Pappy, Deji, JJ. I mean, the energy is really high in here right now, and I'm super excited.
It's going to be absolutely crazy. I'm surprised you've never been to an open workout like this before.
Yeah.
Like, you're a media guy, you're like, super into combat sports. Like, it seems like this is where you'd want to be.
I've been to a few press conferences, but this is the first time I've been to a public workout, you know. And I always come up with, I'm pretty bad with my YouTube boxing predictions, so that's why I've decided to come here today.
I've seen on Twitter.
I know, I've had some stinkers in the past, but you know what? I decided to come here today and see it for myself, see the power. Like I've seen a few of the girls training right now. They've got some power, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be mental.
One of the girls, Lil Kimchi, she's serious. Like,
She's in
she
there right
look,
now, I think.
yeah, that's her. That's her. She, like, you'll see her on pads. She is really impressive. Like, I saw her in the gym yesterday. I went to visit. She is training hard. She's only been boxing for 2 months. She claims.
Yeah.
She claims.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's one to definitely look out.
100%. Also, I saw a little Belzy in there before. I don't think I've seen someone with that much power so far in the girls on the pads.
I didn't get to see.
Oh,
Lil
she
Belzy.
looked good. She looked good. I'm excited for that one, yeah.
Okay, nice. Who else on the card do you think is going to be fight of the night?
You know what? I feel like Deji is going to put on a really good performance against Swarms. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Swarms, and I think he did okay against Ryan Taylor. Obviously managed to get the finish. However, I think he's getting a little bit overrated, and I think that he's sort of buying into his hype a little bit too much. We've got to remember, you know, Deji's got so much experience. His last fight was against Floyd Mayweather. He's had the experience, and Swarms has lost a lot of weight, but historically we've seen in the YouTube boxing scene, when you lose a lot of weight, it doesn't tend to work in your favour that well. The perfect example is Fuzi. When Fuzi looked amazing against Deji when he fought him. He shredded a load of weight, but he wasn't able to match the experience that Deji had, and obviously he folded. And I think we're going to see a very similar thing this weekend, and I think it's probably going to be Deji's best performance yet.
That's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement, but I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a clean finish. It's not going to be a towel throwing in scenario. I think Deji's experience, obviously he's training with Daily Perales, you know. Kenny's gone bad guy Kenny now. I think we're going to see bad guy Deji, you know. Bad man Deji.
Okay, so you saw his Swarms' last fight against Ryan Taylor. That was interesting to say the least. You got him out in the first round. Ryan Taylor, he's badass. We've seen his previous fights. What do you think went wrong for Ryan Taylor in that fight? Do you think it was luck, or do you think that was skill?
Well, obviously, I don't think that it was just Swarms' jab that broke his retina. I think it was obviously
One punch man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it was the power of Swarms' punch that managed to do that. I feel like it was probably something that's been happening with the heavy sparring that he's been doing. Obviously, the guy is probably in wars. We saw his war against Slim, so he's probably no stranger to a war when he's sparring too. And I feel like it was just insult to injury, and then that Swarms jab was the straw to break the camel's back, so to speak. So, yeah, I feel that's probably what went wrong for him. Obviously, we didn't really get to see too much. I rewatched the fight last night. It wasn't as if like Swarms was dominating him. It was quite, it wasn't a great fight until that moment, but obviously Swarms managed to get the job done. And I just feel like he's bought into his hype a bit too much now, you know?
Yeah, I kind of see it. Did you see his diss track he brought out last night?
Yeah. Obviously, he's a great rapper. He has like 1 million or so monthly listeners on Spotify or whatever. But I don't think he's a boxer, you know.
We'll see. We'll see on Saturday night. I want to ask you about Salt Pappy.
Okay.
Salt Pappy versus Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor's a very tough opponent. How do you see that fight going?
This is a really tough one. I keep going back and forth on this because we know obviously Salt Pappy's got power, he's got footwork, he's probably the most technically skilled boxer in the YouTube scene right now. But then you've got Anthony Taylor, who's got a pro background. The guy's been at MMA fights and he's a pressure fighter. And I actually think now that the fight is 3 rounds, it massively favours Anthony Taylor because Salt Pappy has only got 3 rounds to find that shot because Salt Pappy's not going to pressure him, you know. So it's a really tough fight for me to call. To be honest, my heart is with Salt Pappy. I do want him to win. You know, I can't call it. I really can't. I'm on the edge with it right now.
It's a really hard fight, and I think the fact that it's 3 rounds especially, I don't know, I think it's going to go to decision, to be honest.
Salt Pappy has surprised me every single time he's been out there. When he first fought Ham, obviously I didn't really know much about him at the time. Ham's a good friend of mine. I thought he was going to batter him basically, and Salt Pappy went in there and did what he needed to do. And then obviously he knocked out Warski, and then he knocks out Josh Bruckner in such an emphatic fashion. He surprised me every time, and I don't think Salt Papi's going to stop surprising us. And I think this weekend, whatever we expect is going to happen, I think it's going to be so different, you know?
So we now know that Salt Papi and Halal Ham are trained by the same coach. Did you see Halal Ham's last fight, and what do you think went wrong for him?
You know what? I think it goes back to what I was saying before about losing a lot of weight. Ham's a good friend of mine, and obviously I know that he's got a good boxing pedigree. He's a veteran of the sport. He fought Drizzy Jeremy on the KSI Logan card. But I think it just comes down to losing all that weight. And I think that he went on like a keto diet where he ate no carbs, and I think that was another thing as well. Sometimes you look great, but when you lose all that weight so quickly and then go into a boxing match, you're going to get gassed naturally. And let's be honest, like with Ginty, he's fighting someone that's so much bigger. Like Ham's not a very tall guy. Like he's only a bit taller than me. Obviously he's big, but he's got a lot of power. He's someone that will rush you, go forward. And with Ginty, because he lost all the weight, I don't think he had the gas tank or the size to be able to do that. You know, so I really want to see him back though. I know that Mam said whatever he said about him not fighting again, but I really, really want to see him back.
I agree. I also really want to see him back. He's been in the game for a long time.
He's a legend, man. He's the first YouTuber I ever worked with. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, the first YouTuber I ever worked with. So.
Speaking of YouTubers you've worked with, the big one, Logan Paul. How did you make that happen? I'm an editor myself.
Oh, really?
I have big ambitions. Yeah, I'm in my first year of uni. So I've been editing since I was like 12, but like movie maker kind of stuff. You know?
Same. Listen, all editors start a movie maker, work their way up. And basically, it kind of happened by accident. I've got a long story short, but basically, BG Media, I don't know if you know about that. I'm originally from Blackpool. BG Media, Little T, Afghan Dan, that became viral in Blackpool before it became viral anywhere else. And I wanted to work in the film industry. Will and he's a very popular YouTuber, and he started making videos about Blackpool Grime Media. And then that's when I sort of was open to the YouTube scene. One thing led to another. I ended up working with True Geordie. Great podcaster, those of you who don't know, we're another veteran of the YouTube boxing scene.
He's great.
I worked with him for 4.5 years, and then after 4.5 years, I kind of thought, listen, I want to try something new. I want to roll the dice a bit, see what else there is out there. And my plan was to go freelance. I had a lot of friends in the YouTube scene. I was going to like just do jobs here and there, and then Logan put out a thing looking for an editor. I applied, did a few test edits. Next, one thing led to another. I'm editing the Prime Super Bowl commercial and working with Logan Paul.
That was ridiculous. Like that was when you got on my radar. I was like, fuck, this guy is crazy.
Yeah, it's like one thing led to another. I've always had like a fascination with the YouTube scene. I'm lucky enough to be able to do what I do what I love full time. So yeah, it's great.
It does sound like the best job in the world.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Obviously, me and Logan, he lives overseas. He does his own thing. Like. I basically get to see his life, his crazy life through a window of my editing screen. Like, it's wild. Like, literally. So for the past week, I've been just going through downloading footage for Maverick Club, which is one of his things. And last night, because I was like working on it all weekend, I was sort of like dreaming of like the footage, like, you know what I mean? You know when you're like
dreaming about Logan Paul.
No, yeah, basically, yeah. You know when you're like you go over something so much that like you can't. I had quite a restless night last night, and I wasn't even in my dream. It was just him in Puerto Rico and his girlfriend and all that. You know what I mean?
Dreaming about Logan's girlfriend.
Yeah, no. Don't
Logan Paul.
Don't be like that.
All right, Gio, when, if ever, can we see you in the ring?
I don't think it's ever going to happen. Obviously, you know what's funny? I was speaking to Young Dave before, so Young Dave's obviously the musician, Colombiano, and I was thinking maybe it would be interesting to get like a Colombian tag team. I don't know where he is, but we're a similar height. You know what I mean? We're not big guys, and I feel like, these lighter divisions need more fighters. I would never probably go one-on-one with someone.
Okay.
So it's very unlikely. However, if the money's right, you never know.
What's the reason that you wouldn't get in the ring? I just want to ask, because you're a big UFC fan, big combat sports fan.
Yeah.
UFC. What's the reason?
So I've never actually, I don't know if I'm good. Like, I do boxing for cardio. So I do a heavy bag, pads, things like that. I've never actually been in a situation where I've sparred someone. So I can't say for certain, I want to get in the ring, But then I go and spar someone and I get battered, which could very well happen, And obviously it takes a lot of time and effort and commitment. And don't get me wrong, obviously I've got a lot of friends who box, who are even in the YouTube boxing scene, and I see the effort and time that goes into it. Right now with my job and other things, it's hard for me to commit the amount of time needed to be able to be successful in a boxing ring. So that's probably one of the reasons, it takes a lot of time. So
it does. Boxing is the kind of sport you can't half do. You need to commit yourself fully.
I don't want to just take a bag, do half-ass training, get in there and get battered, you know what I mean? I want to really give it a go. And right now it's not something that's on my radar, but if Mams or whoever came to me with Young Dave and said, listen, we want a Colombian tag team, it'd be hard for me to turn it down.
Mams Taylor's here somewhere. We need to pitch that to him.
Yeah, I'd be game, 100%.
Gio, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the channel. Thank you so much, man.
You're killing it. Subtle Media. Subscribe to Subtle Media. Follow them on TikTok. Follow them on Instagram. Everything. They're smashing it.